Michael, hello. You and Finn Azaz, coach and player of the month for November. Obviously we're a little while on from that great month, but it must be very pleasing to you to have built up all that momentum.
Yeah, November seems quite a while ago already, but yeah, I think we've had a decent spell. I think we've over a period of weeks now, I think we've had a decent spell. Individually, the boys are playing well in general, and as a team, we're playing pretty well. Obviously disappointed with the result the other night, and disappointed with the result of Burnley in the end. So that's got to fuel us really to try and improve on things and make the results better. But largely, there's been a lot of good things happening that we need to keep on top of as well, and make the most of.
You were noticeably, well, to some, more animated than usual during parts of that Leeds game, which people were sensing a certain frustration. Certain parts of the game went very well, particularly second half, but first half. What were you most frustrated with about that performance?
No, I wasn't frustrated. I wasn't frustrated at all. I thought we played a lot of good football, to be honest, and what they started the game first few minutes pretty well and strongly, and then we seen it off and then controlled the next little spell, and just as we were controlling the game, the first goal come from nowhere really, and then there was a little bit to and fro through the rest of the game, and the second half before we were good for up until about 2 or 3 minutes before the goal. We kind of give them a little bit more into the game, and then the goal comes and then changes the game for sure. But I thought for a large part of the game to go there and be right in the game and a real chance of winning the game, I thought there was a lot of positives to take.
There's a feeling among some fans that when things aren't going well in a game, sometimes you are collectively slower to change the style of play. Is that a fair comment at all or not?
No, I wouldn't say so, no.
Don't want to elaborate on that?
No, I don't see it, no. I think we were in the game for a long time till it was late in the game really, and we were playing really well, and we felt we were going to go and win the game, so I don't see that as being a problem.
I mean, this is social media chatter, so you take it with a pinch of salt.
Don't read social media.
Well, maybe that's very wise, but I think this is a general perception, not just about that one game. You don't see a pattern in any of that.
In terms of what?
In terms of not reacting to changes in the game.
No.
Not so. Fair news. Sometimes it's best to stray away from these things altogether. Next couple of fixtures on paper very winnable, but you haven't got the easiest pair of festive fixtures. Is it important to you to build up a few more points before you get to that Christmas?
No, I think it's important we don't take anything for granted. I think we've it's very easy to look at the last two games and think that the last two games out of the way, and obviously fixtures for them being right at the top of the league. But that doesn't take our eye off the most important thing, which is the next game, and certainly not look too far ahead of what's around the corner. It's really, really dangerous to do that against the Millwall team. That's a really, really tough team to play against. Really tough team to play against. So we have to be fully ready for that. So there's no assuming or taking anything for granted. We want good results. We want to win games, and we're desperate to do that. And the next one is vital for us to put in a good performance and try and bounce back.
No, you show respect for all teams you're about to face. Millwall haven't won a game in 5, but they did beat Leeds, for example. So one of these dangerous mid-table teams. Very
dangerous. I think a lot of the games they've played have been super tight, like really tight, and one goal either way, 1-0s, 1-1s. There's a lot of really, really tight games, and they make it really tough. They're a good team.
Looking at where you are, slipped back down to 7th. For some people, that's a psychological barrier just outside the playoffs. But I've heard you talk about this before. You don't want to, make too many judgments about where you are at a certain stage of the season. But 7th at this stage, if somebody had offered you that at the start of the season, would you have accepted that?
Yeah, listen, there's so many different ways to look at it. The position's irrelevant in many ways. At this point, it really is. It's for a point or two more, and you finish 6th at this point, or you're not finished. Obviously, you're 6th at this point. It's really, really going to influence what happens next. I think we've built up a lot of kind of belief and confidence over a period of time about the way we've played and what we're capable of doing, and that has an effect on the next game and what's possible. we got to make it happen, you know, and the next game, as I said, we got to go out and make it happen. It's a tough game. League position will be league position if we win games, and the next one's the most important thing.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Millwall obviously, I think it was earlier this week, announced that Neil Harris will be stepping down after this game. What are your thoughts on that, and how it impacts this game on Saturday?
Yeah, to be honest, it doesn't impact us. I have to say, I think Neil's done a fantastic job since he's gone there over a period of a number of months, finishing the season and starting the season particularly strongly. So, but in terms of you know how we approach the game, will be exactly the same as normal, and get on with our jobs.
Yeah, I mean these kind of things can often, I guess, buoy the opposition. You know, they'll want to play for Neil Harris. Is that something that you maybe have to be kind of wary of or prepare for?
Yeah, possibly. We can't really prepare for that, you know, how their energy levels go or whatever. However, that's not for us to kind of prepare for. We prepare for us to be the best we can be, and obviously respect what they're good at, what they're trying to do, try and prevent that. There's not extra preparation for it because of their situation. We got to respect where we're at, the game that it's going to be like, and be fully ready for that.
Yeah, just the usual injury run through it. Obviously Dale missed the other night with illness. How's he now?
Yeah, we've still got a bit of illness knocking about the place actually, which is Dale's. We'll have to see. To be honest, we'll have to see. Obviously, wasn't right for the other night, so we'll have to see how if and when he's ready, whether he's available to be back involved on Saturday.
Yeah, and a couple of the boys who were kind of starting to get back involved, could any of them be in contention?
Yeah, listen, we got a strong squad, you know, we got a strong squad. As I said, we got boys training. We've had a couple of bits of illnesses, but the boys are in and around it. Some were a little bit further than others, but yeah, we're close, and we got a strong group, so we'll be looking forward to the game.
Yeah, and just on Ian Morris, where's he currently? How far is he off now?
Yeah, he's not training with us yet, but he's doing his rehab, and he's on the grass, so he's progressing particularly well. But we'll just have to see how quick that's going to be in the end.
Yeah, without exact time frames, are we looking kind of after Christmas, before New Year, after New Year? Is that?
No, it should, yeah, Christmas, in and around Christmas, maybe before, if we see how it goes, but no pressure on that really. But yeah, hopefully, so it won't be too long.
Yeah. On the Millwall on Saturday, I remember talking to Tommy Conway after the Hull City game, so kind of pre-Burnley, which were obviously then the start of two tough games, and he said one of the pleasing things about the run you were on at that point is that you were starting to kind of win the games you were expected to win, which wasn't always the case obviously earlier in the season. Not just expected to win, but you know, kind of, you know, deserved to win, I guess, because of the performances earlier in the season. Is that now, moving on from those two tough away games, is that a kind of key mentality you've got to take into the upcoming games? I know obviously still got to respect and not underestimate any opponent, but you know, kind of go into games, if you like, with that authority of we should win this game.
Yeah, it's there's a balance in that, you know, that confidence and that authority that we try to play the game with without taking it easy or expecting it to be easy. So it certainly won't be easy, and we certainly don't do that in our approach by any stretch. But confidence is a great thing, you know, and that belief and gaining that habit of winning games and getting used to it. Sometimes it comes through playing good football. Sometimes you have to find other ways to win, and you know, that's something that we want to create, and we believe by doing that gives us best chances, trying to obviously perform well. But that kind of little bit of instinct, that little bit of nature and behaviour of playing in a winning team kind of is a great habit to get used to. We got to find that little momentum and that spark and to carry us through, and every week's a new challenge, and you never really, whether you're on good form or maybe not, you're always going to the next game on your toes alive, expecting things to happen, you know, and never take things for granted. But certainly a good feeling, and when you know you're capable of doing it, and you can score goals, you can win games, but you got to respect the other game, the one that's in front of you.
Well, what's the key to kind of, you know, if you like, the favourite tag, without being disrespectful to any opponent, but you know, kind of making that stick and making it a success? Because I guess as a player, you you played for a club where that was pretty much the case. Most weeks you were the favourite, you were expected to win, and 9 times out of 10 you lived up to that billing. What's the key to that?
There's a lot that goes into it, really. I think the capacity to keep performing, to keep pushing yourself, to be at your limit and play on that edge constantly is a real skill and a real attribute that's not always easy to get. And it's not something just because you're a good player, it doesn't mean you can just keep performing all the time. It takes a lot of work to go into that to be ready mentally, to be ready physically, to keep going again and actually enjoy the challenge and what's in front of you, and take a lot of confidence from the expectation, really, and see it as a real positive. It's the only way. It's a real positive to have the expectation on your shoulders, and it's a great responsibility to have. So you've got to embrace that.
We've spoken a lot this season about Ben and how well he's doing here. Obviously, a lot probably because of how well he's doing. Feels like the attack-wise is focused to the right-hand side, and you're thinking back to kind of your first Middlesbrough team, and a lot felt like it come from the left at that point, probably because of how well Ryan Giles was doing at that time. Has it been a kind of, if you like, natural switch where there's a bit more focus on the right just because of the players in the team?
There's not, to be honest, it's not a real big focus for us. I think we want to attack both sides of the pitch. I think it's just the fact that down that side of the pitch would be particularly dangerous, and Ben's had a big impact with his playing with linking with Finn, and I think it's naturally just happened, and it's not something that we funnel to that side necessarily. I think it takes its course during the game, but certainly we look to try and attack the full width of the pitch as much as we can.
Yeah, and with that in mind, obviously Ryan had such an excellent spell at the club, and it would be unfair to kind of compare anyone to him, but whether it's Neto or whether it's Lucas when he gets back in there, is there a kind of desire from you, if you like, for those players to take the next step to kind of try and get involved in that?
I think it's a shared load. I think it all comes from how we build to that area of the pitch, and how much service we give, who positions that we take up, sharing the load of different players that attack that kind of space in that wide area. It's not just a one player solution, and I think it's a collective thing as a team, and whether that's left or right or through the middle, or whether that's over the top or around the sides, but there's different ways, and it's never really a one. Most of the time one or two players get the praise for it, but it's kind of a team structure that allows that space to develop, really. And but certainly we want to attack the full width of the pitch and make the most of the pitch. Is the size for a reason, because that space is there, and we want to try and make the most of it as much as we can.
You mentioned a bit of illness knocking about, so potentially others who might miss out on the side of it?
Possibly. Riley's got a bit of a chest infection, to be honest, as well, so he's we'll see how he is, but yeah, there's a little bit knocking about. For whatever reason, we thought we had seen the back of it, but and they're all a little bit different in some ways, but we'll see who's fit and ready tomorrow.
Just as about Josh Coburn, obviously can't play this weekend. I don't know whether he'd been able to anyway if he was fit, but it's been quite a challenging time for him so far. A couple of injuries, and now obviously the manager who was so desperate to sign him in the summer is leaving. But you've talked before about how the challenges in loans can sometimes be just as beneficial as good things that might happen.
Yeah, definitely. I think story of life in general. It's sometimes the tougher times that kind of shape you as a person, and that's definitely for players, young players, senior players. It is what it is, and you kind of got to make the best of it. But certainly loan spells as a younger player can have huge benefits, and Josh has done well when he's played, and unfortunately he's had a couple of little setbacks, and but he's done well when he's played, and I'm sure he'll be better for the experience.
Have you spoken to him, or have coaching staff spoken to him since his latest setback?
Yeah, I've been in contact with him. Yeah.
How is he? How's he?
Yeah. He's obviously disappointed, and you want to be on the pitch as much as possible, and he suffered an injury earlier on in the season, but he's he's a good character, and he's got a good personality, Josh, to keep going and understand the situation, and hopefully he'll be back soon enough.
And I was going to say that regardless of what his future holds, whether he's back here or what next summer, there's still time for him to make an impact this season, isn't there? for him at Millwall?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's loads of football. I keep saying about for us, there's loads of football in the league. Yeah, for sure, and hopefully he can get back soon enough. And shake this injury off. But yeah, there's loads of football left. There's I'm sure he can go on and use the experience that he's had and the positives that he's had and scoring goals and playing games and being important for them. And I'm sure he can use that to great effect moving forward.
And on that now, when you're back to yourselves, when you say about those football still to play, you said that the positions are relevant at this stage, which clearly it is, but equally you don't want to let those gaps above get too much, do you? Because in the last couple of years, really, you've probably paid the price for having too much to catch up on at the end of the season. Yeah,
we're in a better position now than we were over the last 2 years, so that's positive for us. I think we were chasing from quite a way back both seasons, and of course we understand what the league looks like, and it's just more for a position here and there at this stage, whether it's 6th, 5th, 7th or whatever it is. At this moment for us, it's not really. That's not the most important thing. For sure, in terms of the points and what it's going to take and what it looks like, and we understand where we are with that. But we're definitely in a better position at this stage of the season than we have been, and we take that as a big positive. And what's potential and getting players back fit and the squad getting stronger. It's hopefully it's going to be a real good period of time for us coming up.
And in the last 2 seasons, the best of those teams has come in the second half of the season, as you say there. Do you think that'll be the case this year?
You see what I think? I hope so, yeah. And I believe it. I believe that we're capable of winning games, yeah, for sure. With the squad we've got, if we've got a little injuries here and there, we can adapt and hopefully we can still be there to make the most of it. But yeah, there's no reason why not. I'm not saying it's guaranteed, because it's crazy to say that, but belief's certainly there.
You talked a lot about moments in games and the importance of moments in games. It's kind of one of the challenges for the side moving forward, especially in the running. Maybe like Tuesday night's game, and I might sound harsh because Leeds are top of the league and they beat everyone at home, so it's not like purely on that game. Maybe finding a way to get something out of the game when you feel you deserve it, whether it's a point or a win.
Yeah, see, I've taken a lot of positives from, if you take the last 2 games, of how we've gone into the game, how the supporters are going into the game, what we are like during the game, and the feelings after it of we feel with that we're a lot closer. We've won some games over the last couple of years. We've had to adapt at times to win them games, where we feel that we've got a really good chance in any game in this league by doing what we're good at and being ourselves a little bit more, if that makes sense. So I feel that's why we've improved a lot. I think to go toe to toe, to have them games where we're coming away disappointed with a draw, and then disappointed obviously with a loss, gives me a lot of confidence to know we've made good strides, and for some of the boys it's a bit of a new experience, to have that expectation, to have that level against teams that have just come down from the Premier League and Premier League kind of established players. I think it's a real positive to think we can go up against them and believe that we've got a good chance of winning, and for us it's up to doing it over a period of time and week to week. We've said the same thing, that'll never ever change however well we're doing, but certainly a lot of positives with the whole going into the game, how the game's panned out, what we felt after the game, how disappointed we felt is a good sign for us moving forward, I'd say.